Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the beautiful Anglican Church Grammar School playing fields for round 3 of the Queensland GPS First 15 competition. My name is Nick Darvaniza and I'm very happy to be broadcasting to you today. And more so happy to be broadcasting alongside my good mate, Rob Matthews. Rob, welcome to broadcast.
G'day, Nick. Welcome to you as well, mate. Thanks for coming along for what is an absolutely outstanding day of, an outstanding day for some outstanding GPS rugby.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I've spent a lot of time on these churchy playing fields. I have to say, this is one of the best days I've seen at this ground in a very long time. Not a cloud in sight. And gee, it's going to be a cracking game. I just cannot wait to get into it.
Mate, it absolutely is. Churchy undefeated and Gregory Terrace, they're 1 from 2, but they've played some cracking rugby, and that one loss, it was a close one.
Yeah, that's right. And at round 3, you would maybe not expect it. The Churchy would be the team who was undefeated, but yet they are. Had a great win last week, 36-33 over Ipswich Grammar School, which has really set this up to be a blockbuster match today, where either of these schools could be pushing on to greater claim to the premiership.
Mate, they absolutely could be. I think Churchy took a few people by surprise last week, knocking off a pretty good Ippy Grammar outfit, and Gregory. They've been people know about them through the pre-season and come into the season proper. They had a close loss to a very good Nudgee College side, and then they were very, very strong last week against State High. So it really was a cracker. Yeah,
I think Church. Everyone knew they'd have an excellent lineup. They've got 2 Queensland caliber locks and a decent front row as well. And everyone thought their set piece would be an area of strength for them, but I don't think they knew just how strong that strength would be, pushing a very big, very physical Ipswich Grammar pack around the park.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an impressive performance. They did well, and you're right. They fronted up. They worked hard up front, and then most of their tries were scored through the forwards and out in the backs as well off that forward platform.
Yeah, I mean that the support play of the forwards and that pick and drive game. It's like JP Domenico, back row as well, got through a mountain of work. That sets up is a really interesting platform for a few very dangerous centres, Dre Siasi-Brown and Tristan Stanghorn, to really ask some questions of a Terrace centre pairing that aren't too bad themselves.
You're absolutely right, and we've seen the streams. We've been lucky enough to have Gregory Terrace for the last 2 weeks. This is the third one now, and we've had a good look at that Gregory Terrace side, and they can do a lot of damage through those centres. Forwards since Condon, they've been doing really well and unleashing the men outside them, and Boston as well at the back. He's been very solid, to say the least.
Gee, and then some of the young guys in that team, Condon, who you mentioned there, is only 16 years old, a grade 11 coming team for the very first time. Glenn Vahoo as well, another young kid in this Terrace backline. But gee, they've slotted in seamlessly to a backline who were missing some star power after Isaac Lucas and Will Eadie, 2 of the absolute superstars of the competition last year, graduated from the Gregory Terrace backline.
You're absolutely Nick, but they've done to adjust, and their performances just keep coming. So while we're talking about it, let's have a look at that Gregory Terrace side for today. We might as well go through the 1 to 15.
Yeah, mate, let me take the honours, please. In the front row, Levi White, Ethan Dobbins, and Malvin Mavega at tight head prop. In the second row, Jacob Stock, Harry Wilson. In the back row, Charlie Round, Cam Howard, and rounding out the forward pack at number 8, Will Roach. In the halves, Will Kirk and Matt Legrand at 9 and 10. On the wings, Glenn Vahoo and Metacella Suapaia. In the centres, as we spoke about before, Hawani Ford-Stevens and Dan Condon, rounded out by captain Byron Rolson, coming in at fullback, coached by Ben McCormack.
An excellent side, but taking on a good Church fit today here at Churchy for their first home match of the season. Churchy's side is at number 1, JP Domenico, Zach Crothers and Max Hemming make up the front row. Fred Futrell and MJ Havili locks. Angus Ogilvie, Will McPherson and Jack make up the back row. George Tarabay and Finn Hume combine in the halves. Sammy Richardson and Jacob Mullen are our wings. Dre Siasi-Brown, Tristan Stankhorn are in the centres, and Charlie Howard is the man at the back.
It's a team with not many changes, but there were few. We saw Max Hemming leave the team last week through injury. In comes Brandon Charles, or Charles Brandon, rather, and they'll swap around at loose head and tight head prop, setting JP Domenico into tight head, which is his favourite position. As well, Tom Hughes, the open flanker, was injured, and so he'll be replaced by MJ Havili, the Queensland comes back from his own injury, shifting Will McPherson, who played lock last week, into open side flanker. Sounds complicated. Really, it's not too bad. Just 2 changes and a bit of a positional swap.
Mate, it's not rocket science, is it? No, for a young team, and this is the first 15, but at the end of the day, it's still schoolboy rugby. The ability of those players to adjust and to perform very well is quite impressive. So
and we see these players running out now, led out by captain Tristan Stanghorn, himself playing his 3rd year of first 15 rugby. One of the really talented outbacks around the competition at the moment. We saw a premiership in 2015. Missed a lot of games last year. I think it was 6.5 games last year through injury. And so far, an uninjured start now, and we're hoping he can stay on the park because he's going to be a big weapon for Churchy.
He absolutely will be. He'll want to make sure that his weight and his presence is felt in this match. So we'll have to see how he goes. Kickoff about to get underway. Very capable hands of Brady Cronin today, a very talented young Queensland referee. Brett has also recently come to Australian schoolboy down in Sydney as well, where I know the referees went through a lot of training themselves. So it should be an excellent match of rugby, well refereed on a fantastic schoolboy pitch.
And the referee understands what it means to play first 15 rugby as young halfback Will Kirk, only 16 years of age, to get us underway in the first 15 round 3 clash between Gregory, Terrace and Churchy.
Captain.
Now Terrace got out to a 4-10 win against the same side last year, playing at their home field, but you have to think today will not be as easy as that. And we're off and underway. Right wing, taken by Harry Wilson. As George Tarabay close to the fires wide, Finn Hume. An early punch to the middle, but Terrace able to steal some ground in the tackle. Hume, wide pass ground. He was looking for Siasi Brown, but can't find. And Terrace defense there again. Side-to-side stuff from Churchy so far. Not a whole lot of punch, but it's hard to put when Terrace are defending as they are.
Absolutely, we've seen the past couple of weeks just watching Gregory Terrace, Nick, that they're not willing to commit any player defensive breakdown. They did it against Nudgee and State High as well, and it really meant that the 2 teams playing them struggled in attack, and they were forced to. A lot of them felt the pressure wide instead of working their way up through the middle. So it was quite frustrating for those 2 opposition teams. Let's see if Churchy have had a look at the tapes and maybe they have a different strategy.
Tends on to be a false sense of security going wide. Terrace do force a knock on, even with the lack of numbers out there. As we head into our first scrum, I'm really looking forward to this clash between tight head prop JP Domenico for Churchy and Terrace, and Melvin Malvega, who's another big front rower. An easy ball for Terrace. Matt Legrand, Hawani Ford-Stevens fires a short ball, finds Dan Condon. Met well by Siasi Brown. And the quick ball's there for Terrace, as Tyrone Medicel Supai gets involved in the game early. Struggling just his way up to the 22.
He gets your tongue involved in the game early as well.
Sure does. Harry Wilson now finding ground in the middle of the field again. They go wide. Matt Legrand straightening. Met by Brandon Charles. Just building pressure, working their way through the phrases now, and they find penalty advantage.
Not rolling away.
Harry Wilson met in the 2-man tackle. They have to wrap him up, fade for his offloads. The Australian schoolboy Matt Legrand out wide. Brian Ralston, Tyrone Medicel Soapy is so difficult to take one-on-one. Terrace recycling play very well as Will Roach slides out of the tackle of MJ Havili. Legrand wide. Harry Wilson loves his right-handed offload. There it goes. Can't find Hawani Ford-Stevens, but regathered by Terrace. And support arrives just in time. Legrand, Ethan Dobbins gets the fend going. Just escapes from Havili again. Those long arms wrapped him up well. Legrand, Roach, Ralston. Oh, a flat cutout pass and skips outside. Tyrone Medicel Suapai and doesn't even find Glenn Vehu. But they'll come back for a long advantage over to that far right-hand side of the field. Rob, patient start from Gregory Terrace.
Patient start, disciplined start, and they had the benefit of the advantage, so they're willing to throw it around a little bit. But still, even then with the advantage, they were going through their structures and doing it properly.
And Hawani Ford-Stevens kicks for the line. No points for Gregory Terrace right this moment. They're looking for more later on. And so a 5-metre line out, just outside the 5-metre line out. Charlie Round goes up, gets over Jack Slack. And Terrace set their own driving maul, one of Churchy's strengths this year. It's well formed. G, it's got some momentum. G, it's going close. And there's the try. And there's the try. Looks like it might have been the halfback, Will Kirk. Don't know what he was doing in there, but gee, it came up well for him. And first points to Gregory Terrace, only 4 minutes in.
Big goal on a chip. Kirk saw the opportunity and it was well taken. Did well to score the try. It was well formed maul. As Churchy made a lot of meters and did well through their forwards last week, but they had one done up on them just then. And in fact, Churchy saw a lot of line-out ball, so even to win that line-out was quite impressive with capable jumping of Jack Slack, putting ample pressure on Charlie Round there. But Will Kirk scored the try nevertheless, and he will go to kick his own conversion right now. And quite a tough kick. A tough kick for the right footer coming in from the right-hand side. You'd say maybe 7 meters in from touch. Churchy boys look happy. I think that one's missed, judging from the crowd reaction. Looked beautiful off the boot though, Nick. Just didn't have the direction.
And Charlie Round there.
Quick look at this replay as well. Very well formed maul. You could tell Terrace, they moved it off to the side when they needed to. And then they got paid.
No, that was my mistake. That was Ethan Dobbins indeed. I thought it might have been the hooker who took that ball. Lost it quickly in frame. There we go. Ethan Dobbins' first try scorer as Terrace cleared the line. And Church will have their first real attacking opportunity of the game with the line at 40 meters out on the left-hand side. We'll see Zach Crothers throwing in. So lots of support behind him. Zach Crothers throwing in. JP Domenico feeds off. Works through the tackle of Cam Howard and Charlie Round, the two Gregory Terrace back rowers. Isaac Tarabay finds the new man, Brandon Charles. Quick ball, Terrace not committing to the breakdown. Hume works inside. That'll be, an tackle there.
Forward pass.
A forward pass on the attempted offload. Well, they did look promising, but taken short just again. And so we'll head into our second scrum of the match.
Bigger scrum, boys.
Scrum rates, Gregory Terrace weighing in at a whopping 295 kilograms in the first 15 versus the Churchy forward pack in the front row, only 282. So they do have a fair advantage there of some 13 kilos. So you'd have to imagine they would win their own ball back.
Fine. Set.
Two of GPS Rugby's most supported schools, these two. Love to sing, love to dance, love to clap. And quick ball, Hawani Ford-Stevens can't kick it out, so he'll go long. He'll find grass in between Charlie Howard and Jacob Mullen. And strong king chase as Ford-Stevens makes a tackle, cleans up the mess he made with the kick. A good mess. As Churchy attacking down the right wing. Going second man play. Wide cutout. Oh, Jack finds the offload. It's Charles Brandon. And Brett Crone's, taken quickly by George Tarabay. G makes good meters, but that's all he'll make. Terrace forwards flutter around him. And the turnover's good. That's why you don't kick and tap in that position on the field. And now Byron Rouse looking to forward something on the right-hand wing. Skipping out of the tacklers. Kirk. Harry Wilson. They know about him. Legrand. The big shove as Tarabay feeds inside. You'd have to say parity there. They feed back for Dre Brown. And offside of the scrum, this is a let-off for Churchy. A rookie error from young Will Kirk.
Front of 8 feet, offside.
And so Churchy will have the opportunity to clear their line, relieve some pressure, and start to mount their own raid. And hopefully exert some pressure of their own. Well, we'll get a great view of this in front of our commentary stand. Zach Crothers throws in. Short line out. Fred Futrell at first receiver. But they'll throw back. McPherson, oh, taken by Ethan Dobbins at the back. And another error. They come in threes, they say. Oh, and there we go, the third. I did say it. But another let off for Churchy,
If you go straight for the ball, I'll deal with it.
who are lucky not to go punished for the error. Of course, they'll set the scrum about in midfield, outside the 22, so they cannot clear their line on the full. They'll need to find the grass. They might even try to run it out. And here we go. We'll get a great view of this clash between Levi White and JP Domenico of Churchy.
Set. Ball's out.
Scrum wheeling around.
Ball's out.
The ball's out. Wow, anyone can play it. Churchy recovered just in time. And the strong carry there, just what Churchy needed. Settle things down, get themselves going again. As Futrell picks and drives.
This is what they're good at, Nick, this forward play. Although it's the wrong part of the field to be doing it in.
And the full-arm penalty goes to Gregory Terrace. As Churchy support players go off the ground, preventing Terrace from having a fair crack at the ball. And of course, all referee looking for is a fair contest. When you make a move that denies Terrace the fair contest, he's got no choice but to penalise. And so Captain Byron Relson points to the sticks, and Terrace will have their first penalty shot at goal. We're entering our 13th minute. Terrace leading 5-0 with a penalty kick to come.
I know you're excited, Nick, pre-game about the front and the battle in the scrum. You see in that scrum we had just before from the sideline camera.
Well, I saw Levi White, the Terrace prop, was really working on his opposite number, just giving up a whole number of kilos. I think either side has really been able to take advantage from that section of the field yet, or that facet of the battle yet. But Will Kirk, only 16 years old. His elder brother was the halfback for Terrace last year, came second in the GPS. He was also the goal kicker. But not an auspicious start for young Will. And so we've seen now, Rob, several errors from Churchy have escaped punishment. And so if you're head coach Michael Lucas, you think right now, hey, this is not a bad position that we're in right now.
No, especially considering the game we've seen so far. Churchy will be happy to be only 5-0 down.
As trying Metasela Suapai stops with his feet. Oh, maybe a little knock on. He'll get away with it just. As Legrand skips outside tackles, taken well by both centres. Kirk dummies, goes himself.
Tackle release! He's on the ground, have to release.
And now we're starting to see multiple penalties starting to rack up. And if I'm Byron Relson, Rob, I think I'm taking the kick for the line, hoping to replicate the rolling maul success we had earlier in the game with that Ethan Dobbins try.
Absolutely right. It's worked for them before. The kicking boot maybe not comfortable in Willie Kirk's foot today, so that kick for the line is the logical option. You mentioned as well, Nick, the penalties. That's 3-zip now.
3-zip, and all in quick succession as well.
Right, so Churchy aren't helping themselves, allowing Gregory Terrace to stay pinned down this end of the field.
So Ethan Dobbins will throw in the ball just inside the 22. Look at this camera angle. How good is this? And we'll see Will Roach at the back goes up, overthrown. And George bumps his way out of contact. And Churchy back to the humble pick and drive. Will McPherson time. Terrace sends it back. Charge down. Well, we'll get another roll of the dice. What a carry from Tristan Stanghorn, keeping the legs pumping and shedding tackles on his way. And there's the fourth. All the good work undone by sloppiness at the breakdown from Churchy. And this is starting to get frustrating. And finds touch only just. Gee, that was a close call.
It's a close call, but it allowed them excellent attacking opportunity. It's now looking 8 metres out from the line.
That's right. It's a risky take, and it was a risk that was really worth it. This is a dangerous position to be defending. Dobbins up for Charlie Randall. They'll forge another driving maul. Oh, better defended this time. Legrand. Forward Stevens. Ralston now, trying to get outside Finn Hume. They'll go down. Support arrives just in time for Gregory Terrace. And Harry Wilson, great hands, stills on this occasion. And Churchy let up the hook again. My gosh. Oh, the footwork from Terrace Brown. Not enough to get by, but enough to look flashy.
Over.
Churchy clear and fine. Brian Ralston on the full. Can't handle it. It's on the line off. Escapes one. Gee, there's a lot of bodies around the breakdown. Legrand finds Wilson. He's been wrapped up very well. Same situation for the last few weeks now. Oh, Kirk nearly finds his way through. As Churchy muscle up through the middle, Melvin Mavega. Jacob Stocker now. Finding the meters, those long levers pumping. Wilson will have a crack.
This is interesting, Nick. This is very contrasting style to what we've seen from Gregory Terrace for the last 2 weeks.
But now they spin. And forward Stevens, wow, what a handoff. Angus Ogilvie hits the deck. Will Roach now. Matt Legrand, wide for Wilson. Trying to work that offload, but can't on that occasion. Malvin Vega picks up the loose ball. G heals well. Malvin Mavega. Levi White.
Backwards.
Knocked back, so Terrace will have another opportunity.
It might have fallen into the defender there to my eyes, but I'm looking at a little screen and referee Cronin's in the middle, so stay on.
Advantage blue.
Gee, and that was an important tackle by Byron Ralston.
Knock on red.
Could have been anything there.
Was important. Jacob Mullen. He's a quick little guy and certainly had some green grass in front of him. Could have made some good territory, if not a scoring opportunity for Gregory Terrace there, but Ralston put it to bed.
Seconds in.
I was saying before as well, Nick, it's in totally contrasting style to what we've from Gregory Terrace in the past 2 weeks when they've been playing a very open game previously, looking to spread wide. But Churchy's forwards are really making them change the way they play, really slowing down the ball and creating a challenge up front. So Gregory Terrace need to compete for a clean ball.
Yeah, absolutely right. As Finn Hume goes back for Tristan Stanghorn, that big left boot. Gee, a bit reminiscent of Bowden Barrett there. I think it was a crossfield kick. I think he was actually aiming for Sam Richardson on that left wing.
It was a bit like a golf chip, but Bodie Barrett got a hole on a par 3. I saw today or the day before on social media, so I'm not sure it quite had the same degree of accuracy.
I wonder if Stanghorn's a decent golfer. Wouldn't that be an interesting competition? GPS golf.
Well, I know a couple of the schools play it as a HPE elective for the senior PE students, so there's certainly going to be some talent running around.
Yeah, and I believe Nudgee College had that golf course just around the corner.
Very convenient.
Very convenient.
Playing the man in the air.
There we go.
Churchy. Finally, a penalty goes the other way. You have to say, I spoke to Terrace head coach Ben McCormack this morning. He mentioned to me that discipline and field position are the 2 areas where his side will really be focusing their energy on. And you have to say, 20 minutes into this game, they've done that beautifully.
They've absolutely have done that, Nick, and it's provided a platform and for them to be in a great scoring position. But they just haven't been able to pull the trigger, and they haven't been able to quite follow through on that. So they have been disciplined, and the territory figures at the moment are absolutely insane. We're looking at 75-25. So Gregory Terrace, they're following the game plan, but they just need to get some points on the end of it.
Crothers in, finds Ogilvie. Gee, picking up some speed as well. That might have been Jack Slack. in that white headgear.
Tacklers, no clear release.
And now consecutive penalties. So Churchy's starting to get their tails up, starting to get a sniff into this game.
Well, they've done well. They've certainly survived an onslaught. And now they're being willed on by a couple of hundred boys in blue and grey on the far side of the field. So this will be one of their first good attacking raids if they're able to put it out. But they are not.
They're not. Another key error plaguing this Churchy side. But, you know, to borrow an NFL expression, the best defenses bend but don't break. I think we've certainly seen that. There's been a whole lot of bend, and there's been no big break. So Crothers throws in. Finds Futural. Crothers will take a pick and drive, supported by Futural now. That same combination. There's McPherson. Going one part, JP Domenico into Malvin Mavega. Little matchup, both props well over 100 kilos. Slack now, taking contact. Not bad from Ogilvy. Now it's Havili. Haven't called his name much, but gee, gets going. Yeah, 113 kilogram lock. MJ Havili missed the national championships with injury, but I think he'll be keen to rip in the yes playing field today. His first game back. As Howard finds McPherson, bumps out of one.
This is the Gregory Terrace we've seen the past few weeks, Nick. They're not committing again, so they've got all their men in their defensive line. So maybe they're playing a different game plan down in their defensive half.
Yeah, refusing to commit to those breakdowns and a lot of opportunity to defend the space. But of course, when you don't commit to these breakdowns, it lets Churchy just pile on these pick and drives, which we've seen so much in these last few minutes.
And it is a strength of theirs. They scored 3 or 4 tries against Ipswich Grammar this way last week.
As Domenico, then Havili feeds off to Jack Slack. Domenico calling it for himself. But Crothers, I said it before, only 75 kilos. He's playing with the big boys today. And there's more size, Domenico. And 3 penalties in a row going towards Churchy. Well, Rob, I think when you're looking at this, you'd be mad to... Oh, they take the quick tap, so I took the words out of my mouth. Stick to what's working. And the pick and drives are working. And they're going wide. Tristan Stanghorn, the inspirational captain, gliding through on left-hand side. And aren't his team happy about it?
And so they should be, Nick. This is their first good opportunity in the match, and they've been able to execute within just a couple of phases. They'll be very, very happy with that, Churchy.
And this is the issue. When you do pile on these pick and drives like Churchy been doing, it does suck in the defense, even when they're not committing to the breakdown. What it does is it opens up and it forces defenders to make their one-on-one tackles. And on the goal line against the quality of opposition like Tristan Stanghorn, gee, that gets tough to do.
Well, you always want to make opposition play in a different way to the way they're comfortable. And that's what Churchy are doing. They've got very contrasting styles with Gregory Terrace. And so even though they might not be the most fancy team on paper of the two today, they've certainly been able to challenge Terrace, and they're going to have to adjust their game plan and see if they can go about things a different way.
George Tarabe's kick off the upright and in. And so about that, 25 minutes in, Churchy take the lead against Gregory Terrace. Gee, I'm getting flashback to the same fixture in 2015. I remember Will Eadie scored a few tries in that game, but it was just neck and neck all the way through. Ended up in a grandstand finish. I feel like we might be heading this way now with 10 minutes remaining in the half.
Is there a game of GPS rugby in the last decade that you don't remember, Nick?
I can't remember. And there's a spill from Churchy. Wow, and that's an error they did not want. Following up for all the great work they finally were able to put in down in the red zone. And so after defending for... And here we see the end of the try. And look at this, look at the love from teammates. That's a mark of a good captain when everyone gets around you like that. I wish I knew that feeling, Rob. I never scored a try like that.
I was going to say, you just didn't score enough tries, Nick.
I know. And so here we go.
Bind.
Will Kirk to feed the scrum. It's been very even. Churchy exerting a shove of their own, but Legrand straightening. Go wide. Oh, and Glenn Bay, who taken around the shoulder, ruled to be fine.
Was falling.
Was. And so now Gregory Terrace will channel their own Churchy as Will drives forward, well supported. And Harry Wilson now spinning and tackled hard. It's got to hurt. Will Kirk, Legrand, forward Stevens, footwork. Oh, finding Glenn Bay, who can't possibly in there. Kenny.
Great strength.
Oh, and loses it. Jeez, Jacob Mullen.
Strength on both sides, Nick.
His teammates call him Beetlejuice. He's stolen something there. Well, how about that? Another opportunity for Gregory Terrace gone begging as this Churchy defense just refuses to crack. Ray Brown.
Another get out of free card there by Churchy. How many have they got in the pocket?
I have a feeling we're going to find out, Rob. And so, again, the Terrace liner inside the 22. Finding Will Rodell going over the top. Gee, both sides had some issues with dysfunctional lineouts. Churchy showing their willingness to pick and drive from anywhere on the pitch. Not making any meters, but they are holding on to possession. The link more than that to win this game as Tarabay clears.
That's a fabulous kick.
Not fabulous, Rob. He was out of the 22 when he kicked it.
Was the ruck outside? I think he may have had his boots in, but referee Cronin deemed that the ruck it's outside, so that's carried.
Well, of course, the referee is hyper aware of all these little factors that the average punter might sort of see.
You can see there the line out is being played inside the 22, so it was deemed carried back.
Round disrupted by McPherson, by Ogilvie, pardon. And so Jack Slack taking the line on. Gee, he's only 84 but gee, has some oomph in him. That's why I play great. Quite a natural number 7, Jack Slack. Now, off. Met by both Terrace second rowers. As Hume out wide. Stanghorn clears it up and fires a wide offload. Lucky to be taken in by Freddie Futrell. Wow, another penalty. There's been a fair few.
Got to be on your feet to play the ball first.
And a scrappy first half. Way line. And with just 7 minutes to go in this half, can Church do something with this possession now to really change the course of this game? Crothers straight up. Futrell, the only bloke with the blue headgear. And set that driving mauler, making good meters. Gee, it's a real strength of theirs. Hume, wide, tries to cut out CIC Brown, but he's not going to let it. Rumbling for meters, the former Samoan under-16 representative. Ogilvie finding space. This, Jacob Mullen. The turn of pace from him. As Churchy go inside the 22 for just the second time in the match, I want to say.
He's working hard, Mullen. He's popping up all over the park.
All over the park on both wings.
Play on, back off, Red.
So a loose ball recovered by Gregory Terrace, and now it's Terrace's turn to escape and leave some pressure with a clearing kick. Gee, it looked like Byron Ralston kicked it, but he's lost his headgear. Finds touch and Churchy, play the quick throw. Oh, footwork, Charlie Howard. A lot of show, not a lot of go on that step. As Churchy finds some space, who is it again? Jacob Mullen, no way. No way! Wow! Wow, Jacob Mullen! I don't think anyone expected that sort of speed, but He took off and he went and he scored a try. Rob Matthews.
That was a fabulous try, Nick, right in front of the Churchy supporters over on the far side. They're jumping up and down. I'm a bit worried about the structural integrity of those little grandstands, but what a fabulous turn of pace by Jacob Mullen. He evaded a few and had a clean run to the line, and didn't he make the most of it?
That was unbelievable. On about 3 occasions on that run, I thought, he's covered here. Oh, well, covered here. Oh, well, he's covered here. No, he's not. Gosh, the escape artist. Speed took everyone by surprise. Here we go again. As McPherson, off Brandon Charles, and Mullen. Mullen, the speed, golly. And a try under the post.
Fabulous effort by Mullen there.
And just what the doctor ordered for Churchy, pardon me. Just what the doctor ordered going into the second half. Terrace, nice clean strike, just guides over the black dot. Simple school, extensively.
For those of you playing at home, it is boy rugby, first 15 levels, so 35-minute, 70-minute match, so not long to go in this first period.
Yeah, that's right. And for these boys, the legs would be burning right about now, especially for Gregory Terrace, who, for all their dominance early in the first half, haven't got a lead to show for it, and in fact, by 9 points.
Backwards.
As Howard clears 9. Smoothly taken.
Great spectator catch here.
Great spectator kick. And so this is a key lineup for Gregory Terrace now. They'll really need this. Oh, under great pressure from McPherson, they'll win the line out just as Legrand will fire wide. Hawani Ford-Stevens. Glenn Vehu, Byron Ralston. And now, oh, another high shot. Gee, they've been slipping up on that right wing. As Brett Cronin calls the advantage. And now's the time Gregory Terrace will chance their arm and try to strike. Wilson slipping out of a few. Setting a nice platform for his team to attack. Cam Howard. The nuggety open side flanker.
Still got advantage, nice.
As Legrand goes behind Mavega for Ralston. For Vehu. Hawani Ford-Stevens. G's got a big frame, but it wasn't enough to get by. And who else but Jacob Mullen.
Sure.
As time's up, wow, they chance their arm there. Will we go back to the advantage? Yes, we will indeed. And so another roll of the dice yet to come from Gregory Terrace, as they try to scrape back before the halftime whistle comes.
I got a high tackle as well. I think he's falling into it, only for me. Cool. Penalties over here for a high tackle.
Falling into it again, so mitigating circumstances, so we're not seeing any cards.
High tackle.
Agreed with from a touchy report on the far, so
Oh, you got a minute to
just
go.
a pen for Churchy.
And that's what you want. I mean, often there might be a temptation
He
for
was falling
referees.
into it for us, so.
As Byron Ralston gets the explanation, he was falling into it. I mean, there must be some temptation for referees not to use the touch judge and to just sort of go with your gut and how it
2 meters
feels.
off.
But great maturity from a young referee here. Oh, wobbly old kick.
It's great as well when you see that the referees just use the touchy even as a sounding board. They're confident that they've seen what they've seen, but they're just making sure that there's no extra information they may have missed.
It's
So
as much a team sport on the sidelines as it is on the field, I think.
that's beautiful, Nick.
Thanks, Rob. And so, they can't win the line out. Churchy, escape again. Gee, I've lost count, but I wish I did. Oh, what a contest in the air.
Brilliantly won there in front of the Churchy supporters.
Metacel Suapai well over 190 centimetres and now jumped by someone a bit smaller. And so Churchy now past the halfway. And we hear that's half time on the referee's stopwatch as Dre Brown takes contact. And Ken Churchy finds some points before the end of the first half.
Side boy.
Brandon Charles.
Tackle, release.
Terrace. McPherson finds Crothers.
Advantage.
Lost forward by Terrace. So Churchy playing with advantage. A time to chance their arm before the half draws to a close.
Not big other. No lone break opportunity, penalty only.
So the double blast and whistle signals this will be the final play of the half. Churchy with the option, kicking into touch.
What'd you like? Yeah, sure.
Of course, the law change, kicking into touch will not end the game. It'll just give them an opportunity to feed the line out. If they did want to end the game, they'd have to take a quick tap and then kick it out.
Just not in a position
Or
to
just
recover
snuck that one in.
Gee, an effective kick, wobbly as it may have been. And so Churchy will have their chance to add a third try to their ledger before home. And gee, what a result. I don't think anyone would have expected this. As Crothers throws in for slack, finds him this time. And Churchy set that driving maul from the back. So difficult to defend in that back channel.
They do well.
Gee, they found some good meters. They're over the 5 metre line.
Okay, you stopped once.
Told to use it once.
Cross behind his own man.
You're in front of the... Tap it, tap it.
And there we go, the quick tap and the kick in to touch. Denied that time, but gee, who would have expected them to lead 14-5 at halftime against the heavily favoured Gregory Terrace?
So both of you are broken off the maul and you're in front of the player with the ball.
And so there'll no doubt be some messages conveyed at halftime, some deep thinking required for both coaches as their sides head to the sheds now. And it's been a story of two halves, even in this first half, where to start, I mean, you couldn't fault Terrace's dominance in every facet of the game. They looked on top. But then Churchy somehow managed to just weave their way through the blows that were coming, avoid the knockout, and stay in the game until they had a chance late in that half to work their way back inside. And who knows, and they did take the lead. Let's look at these stats here. We scored 14 points scored to Terrace's 5. Both sides equal tackling, which surprised me a little bit. Terrace with the slight edge in possession. Terry. Rob, the stats here that stand out to you.
Well, interestingly, I'm looking at breaks first off the bat, and 0 on both sides of the ledger. I suppose you'd probably have to speak stats, man. There would be 1 for that try wing for Churchy there. But apart from that, it was a slow, grinding game. Neither team were able to find their straps in attack, and they didn't get that free-flowing at all. Just as I'm not. But Gregory Terrace as well, they'll be disappointed. A number of those turnovers conceded. I think 4 of the 5 were conceded at line-out time. A couple of overthrows, one spilled at the front as well. So they'll be disappointed in their set piece. That was a really strong for them last week. It's a strong and physical state high. And they'll be looking to get more from their set piece in the second half. So interestingly, the possession split, basically banged down the middle. Territory as well, came back a little bit towards the end. But for a while there, it was all Gregory Terrace. They just weren't able to make the most of it on the scoreboard. So Nick, half-time, I think you and I have earned a break. So let's go back. We'll have a look in the break at some of the best tries for round 2, which of course was the round we saw last weekend. Back with you.
Well, it's half-time here at Anglican Church Grammar School, better known as Churchy, where the home team has got out to a 14-5 lead over Gregory Terrace. Maybe unexpected, but gee, they've looked good in these closing stages of the first half to snatch that late lead back. Now we look at the ladder across GPS Rugby, and we see teams right now locked at the top. Rob Matthews at Southwood School and Nudgee College, perennial favorites, and both standing at 4 points apiece after 2 wins.
They are. I can't wait for, I believe it is round 7 off the top of my head when those two will meet down at Southport. You'd have to say it's most likely at this stage that will probably be the premiership deciding game. So that one will be juicy. And then Gregory Terrace, watching them today, they're sitting in equal third place, shared third place with Anglican Church Grammar School, sitting slightly higher because of the points differential. That doesn't matter for the premiership rankings at the end of the season, but it shows how these two teams are fairly evenly matched, and that would correspond with the game you've seen as well.
And ladies and gentlemen, I direct your eyes to the losses column on this table here, and the common theory in GPS Rugby is once you hit that 2 losses for the season, you are done. And so Ipswich School is the biggest surprise to me. 2 losses already at this point in the season. Leading in, I did predict that they would go. It might take them until round 7, round 8 maybe to drop out of contention. 2 early losses, including one to this Churchy team, has ruled them out. Brisbane State High School, another one, the defending champions, out of the running for the premiership, which could be nice to some, but they did lose a lot of talent at the end of last season. And Brisbane Grammar School have been in a dour patch since 2012. There was hope that they would have a stronger season this year with a lot of talent across that team, but unfortunately it looks like maybe next year might be their year. And then, of course, the teams with only 1 loss, Gregory Terrace and Toowoomba Grammar School. Any loss from this point on will spell the end for their GPS Rugby season. And then there are some undefeated teams. Brisbane Coors College and Anglican Church Grammar School have both had their bye already, and they've got a bit of breathing room. If they can get a win here, it'll mean all the difference as they head down the stretch.
Any smokies that you see there, Nick? Anyone that you think may have surprised you based as against what you thought coming into the season, or anyone that's looking at BBC, for example, only 1 game played before today, and they're sitting pretty comfortably in equal third, 4th place once you take into account points differential. Have they got a shot?
BBC have a real shot. They haven't won a premiership since 1954 in the famous 4-way. A lot of wet weather in that year resulted in a lot of games being washed out, and so BBC had their sole share in a premiership way back then. I think this is considered best chance for a premiership since 1954 in all those years. I'm not a maths man, but gee, it's been a while. They've just got a lot of quality throughout that team, I think, and they've really got the firepower to match it with Southport and Nudgee this year.
Of course, firepower we saw in some of the highlights then that we played as well. Southport have put on some big scores already so far in the competition. They've got some damaging runners as well. They are very deservingly placed in the equal top of the ladder alongside Nudgee College, who have also impressed as well. So a juicy competition this year. Yeah,
just before we get back underway with the second half, I think Southwood School are at this point in time, they are in the driver's seat. They are in the driver's seat for the premiership of 2017. But back to Churchy versus Terrace, and who knows what could happen in this half. We saw Terrace pull away late. A few teams, obviously, they did in last year's game, and we'll see if they can do it again this time. As Charlie Howard gets us on the way, kick to the left. And so a bit of breakfast there to start the game. I think so. I guess we've started in much the same fashion as we left it in the first half. And so the second scrum will be the first scrum of the second half will be an interesting one. No in the front row and personnel. Well, that'll tell yet.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Ready.
And so feed the scrum, a nice scrum there. Jim Siasi Brown inside for Stanghorn. Works his way through the first tackle and through the second, but not a third. Brown taking his second hit up in 2 minutes. Geez, fired up this kid. There's Tarabay. After the tall fella, maybe Ogilvy. MJ Havili, oh, never got a handle and got hit hard as he received. It's a recipe for and a knock on. compounded by a penalty for not rolling away. Terrace take the quick tap as Ralston attacks wide. Dan Condon takes a hit up on the halfway line on that left wing in front of the Churchy supporters. Legrand for Stocker. Through the tackle. They've lost ground on that. Legrand. Wilson. Offloading. Ford Stevens. Oh, steps inside one. Sam Richardson can't keep a handle on him. As Wilson. G. To the and Kirk fighting his way to the 22-metre line. As Terrace building the phases now, and Wilson's the halfback. Legrand for Roach. Wide pass for Ford Stevens. Ralston. Condon. Bumps his way through the first. Support arrive. Ford step to halfback. Mavega. Difficult to bring down. Kirk. Legrand. Wilson. Gee, we've heard that name a lot. Wilson. Oh. And nearly a moment of magic from Terrace's Australian schoolboys lock. Harry Wilson striding through the tackle, left arm outreached, and trying to get that offload to work, but couldn't find the man on that occasion.
I'm not sure he needed to throw it, Nick. He had the weight advantage against the man. I didn't catch the number, I'm afraid, but against the man who was attempting to tackle him, he had the size advantage. He had a strong fend going, and he was just a metre or two from the line.
Well, at 194 centimetres, could have been 2 metres away from the line, and momentum would have carried him over. Well, another opportunity where Churchy had been let off the hook.
Just hold, just hold.
And as we see in the first half, these are starting to add up.
They add up. Gregory, this is much the similar start to the first half as well. We can have another look here at that run by Harry Wilson as well.
Look where he takes on the 22-metre line. Just gets Darcy Brown with that fend. Gee, I don't know what happened there. I thought Tyrone Medicella Suapai might have been in for all money. But Churchy will have a defensive 5-metre line out. Oh, and a nicely worked line-out play up to the middle. Set the driving wall, hopefully clear some space for the kickers. As Tarabay launches.
That set piece is their coup de grace so far for Churchy. It's really taken them out of trouble a number of times, and it's also given them a good attacking platform in their attacking opportunities as well. They're really making the most of a very strong set piece, and it's probably the primary reason behind the scoreline being as it is.
Well, as you might have seen on Touchy's flag, the wind is starting to pick up, so it's not great. Oh, and it's a line-out lost. Church a clutch play at the line-out.
Good work.
And so it's clear again. Tristan staying on that left boot. So handy having a left-footed kicker in a team. Oh, gee, but he did that one as well. Well, it's almost been the exact same as in the first half, Rob. We've seen Churchy have huge struggles to exit their half, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely, they are. They're struggling with the kicking game a little bit, but they haven't even really had the opportunity to put boot to ball very often. Gregory Terrace, they'll give them a whisper of an opportunity, but then they'll take it right back off them, or Churchy will commit a handling error or some other sort of turnover. So the kicking game hasn't even really come into it until these last couple of minutes.
No, that's right. As the battle for possession in the second half lights up, it has been all Gregory Terrace. As we still have time off on the field as a young man there gets an injury checked out. Never like to see that.
Like to see that, but we are having significant precautions taken.
He's okay, is he?
There we go. We've just heard from referee Cronin that the man on the ground is okay, so we're just making sure, which we'll never disparage, of course.
It was young Angus Ogilvie went down, the younger brother of premiership-winning Churchy winger Ben Ogilvie from 2014.
Maul!
And so Gregory Terrace back in action.
Own play. It's a tackle.
As the ball sweeps wide, Ford Stevens. Oh, short ball for Condon, taken well.
Mullen read that really well, drifting inside, but then adjusted and went out and made the tackle.
Gee, this Mullen been good. And Brian Ralston twisting his way to the line, thought he nearly scored there. Oh,
he went for it again.
Went for it again. Gee, we saw so much success with that Harry Wilson offload all through last year's run where Terrace found themselves with a chance to win the premiership on the final day. But gee, today, so it poses the question, when do you shelve a weapon in your attacking arsenal if it's just not coming up? How many times does it have to falter before you think, well, maybe I'll put it away for today and we'll try again next week?
I think you shelve it when it's not going to work, Nick. I mean, I don't think you wait for a quota. I mean, it's not really so much a failure of execution in my mind. This is a failure to pick the right opportunities. I mean, it was never on there. Terrace were in a good attacking platform. Wilson had been tackled well and he was on his way to ground and he tried to throw a Hail Mary. All he needed to do was hold on to the ball, recycle possession, and Gregory Terrace would have had a fantastic opportunity.
Very astute Rob Matthews. As Stanghorn again failing to clear the 22. And gee, all these missed kicks start to really build a defensive team. And Churchy, just gosh, they must be getting tired now. As Ethan Dobbins throws into a short line out. Jacob. Oh. Well, this might be the best kick they've seen all day, Churchy.
Made the most territory too.
Yeah. As Ford Stephen dances his way through contact. Great combination of power and pace there. And a work to boot. Cam Howard, geez, a strong runner. He's a strong runner. Oh my gosh.
Went through too, Howard.
Well, let's expect there to be someone to take him because he's not the quickest man on the field, Cam Howard. He's a very strong open side flanker, but certainly no jet. But I might have to take now. I might owe Cam Howard an apology. Wow, what a try that was. Cam Howard, wonderful. We saw a great line break from Cam Howard last week against Brisbane State High School. But here we see more of the same. Just those short legs powering through. Well, they say, Rob Matthews, pace equals power. And there's a lot of power, which equals a lot of pace in Cam Howard.
You've lost me in the equation there, Nick, but I'll tell you what, it was a very effective run.
I was never a physics student.
Was, embarrassingly enough, Nick. I didn't keep up, so there we go.
No, there's something in that. I'll get to that actually. Speed equals power, and gosh, let smarter minds than me figure that one out. This is a simpler equation right now. Kick good or not. Oh, and it just slides. That cross post breeze just denying Will Kirk there.
You're right, Nick. You mentioned before that breeze really is starting to pick up here. It was basically still for the bulk of the day and even for the first half. But it's just starting to whistle in under our little broadcast key here so that we're feeling it out on the field.
But finally, Terrace able to strike back after the first try to eat in the first half. And in quite some fashion as well. So it's a 4-point game with just under 7 minutes played in the first half. In the second half. And so we see this scrum. I said before that Churchy give up 30 kilograms just in the front row. They're not a big forward pack, especially up front. And being able to sort of compete with this Terrace from a fair bit of size on them is such an achievement. Show some great breaking. That's the set at Churchy. As Will Kirk finds Legrand, fires a pass for Horny Ford Stevens. Behind the back of Rolston to Tyrone Metacel Suapair. So powerful, so skillful. As Glenn Vai taken into touch. And as Churchy snuff out a dangerous looking raid down the left-hand wing. I didn't see particularly Rob Matthews, but it was an important one.
It was crucial. It was a good attacking opportunity there for Gregory Terrace. But they weren't able to make it all link up.
As we'll line out. McPherson goes up, brings it down. It's Tarabay. Oh, it's a number 8 there. Playing at first receiver, JP Domenico carries the ball. Staying on. Looking for opportunity to use that pace. Offloads, keeps the ball alive. Church takes it down, brings some normalcy back into this game. As Jack Slack takes on the defensive the first man to the ruck. Domenico now.
Balls available.
Churchy working the phases as they cross the 50.
Knock on.
And they've lost it as Will Roach loses the ball himself.
First knock on over here.
So we'll go back to the scrum. And I'll tell you what, a scrum on halfway with the back line that Terrace has, this is a ripe opportunity, attacking opportunity right now.
Just need to hold. Start to come into that engagement.
Really hear that wind whistling through now. You can even hear it picking up in the microphones. You can all hear it at home. But it really is starting to come into the faces of Churchy, I think, Nick. It's a bit hard to tell down here at ground level.
It feels like it's coming for us, Rob. I mean, we're not going to complain, but as MJ leaves the field for Churchy. So they've lost some kilos there in their forward pack again, no doubt.
Another Churchy scrum.
What a scrum that was. Oh, great short ball from Juani Ford-Stevens, finding Dan Condon over the halfway line. Support arrives as Kirk looks wide for Matt Legrand. And Metacella Suapai is so bring down. Offloads. Will Kirk will take it on himself. A brave little kid. Legrand, Wilson. Supported by Roach. Legrand again. Oh, a short little dinky kick in. Finds the grass. And now Charlie Howard clears. Oh, and what a special kick that was with no angle to work with to find touch just past this, the 40-metre line of Gregory Terrace. And a great kick chase means that Terrace can't return that at all.
Yeah, Churchy won't be unhappy about the quick because they were still able to pin Gregory Terrace down inside their own half.
And so Stocker takes on the line. Kirk. Legrand kicking again, trying to make some use of this breeze. Wow, that was a great kick in itself. Bouncing just centimetres out from the white chalk.
Churchy fullback Charlie Howard, he was watching that. He knew it was going to be close. So I think he was just hoping it would be out on full. He didn't attempt to catch it in the hope that Churchy would get a line out.
Well, I think it was the right
down the field.
Sorry, Rob Matthews, excuse me. I think it was the right decision to make. It was a lose-lose situation for Matthews. They'll get the line out anyway. The only thing he could have done by touching that was giving it to Terrace, some more possession to Terrace. And so through to the middle, Futrell. Wow, some crafty line-out defense there from Gregory Terrace. Backing off the line-out means there is no maul. There's no person from the other side bound onto the maul. And so it's an accidental obstruction, I think. Of course, made famous by the Irish in the Six Nations from a little while back. Executes perfection by Gregory Terrace on that occasion. And so now, gee, this Churchy crowd is getting vocal on the far side. I think they can sense what might come. Churchy course leading 14-10 as we enter 50, as we get close to the 50-minute mark. Just 22 minutes to play as Ford-Stevens links with Condon. Ralston steps outside the first, beats one, offloads corner. Glenn has he got the speed? He does, and he'll score. And Gregory Terrace will finally take back the lead.
Finally, they had a good set piece to work with, Nick, and it didn't matter that they were 40 metres out. Their backs worked it through the hands. It was clearly something they did a number of times at training during the week, but it got them a good try out while Terrace hit the...
Gee, for the execution that's been missing from this Gregory Terrace side for the last few, I guess you'd say almost the entirety of the game, they haven't been able to click. Finally, that bit of class with Juani Ford-Stevens linking with Dan Condon in the middle, as we'll see again here shortly. So Cook, a wide first pass, gives him so much width to work with. It's Juani Ford-Stevens, Condon, and Brian Ralston beats the first man. Look at this offload coming up right here, and that's what sets this try for Glenn Thehu. Blinding speed on that left-hand wing.
I think another important part by as well, Nick, was right at the start. It was, I mentioned before, it was a solid set piece that finally gave a platform. But the reason it was solid was they got it in and out very, very quickly. Kirk didn't muck around. He didn't even even have an opportunity to fumble it at the back. It was straight out because they didn't want Churchy to have the opportunity to use their strength in their forward pack.
One of the great advantages, rather, of having some star power like Tyrone Medicella, Suapair in this team, the former Roosters SG ball player, is he was able to sort of square up that defensive line. They were a side ball, which opened the space out wide. No conversion there, and so Gregory Terrace will hold the narrowest of narrow leads with 20 minutes to play in this match. And Rob Matthews, I'm not going to pick a winner.
No, I think it would be a brave man that did pick a winner at this stage. It's interesting, actually, that's looked better in each half is probably the side that scored points. Great. Churchy have done well to control this half, but Gregory Terrace have been the ones that have been able to have points, which is the reverse of what we saw in the first.
So a high tackle there from Churchy gives Terrace an opportunity to work straight back that half with the benefit of a strong breeze behind them, and hopefully another for the Gregory Terrace supporters.
You're 100% right, Nick, that the breeze wasn't a factor in the first half, but it suddenly wheeled around, so whatever decision was made at the coin toss was possibly one that is being traded by the winds.
So a strong kick taking Gregory Terrace the 40-metre.
You can see here the weather actually that we had out of the looking at the wind there, it was 5 kilometres an hour was forecast, but it's definitely picked up a bit later in the afternoon.
Yeah, most certainly. Dobbins side, Charlie round, great execution as Legrand goes behind the back forward. Stevens, short ball, Harry Wilson on that unders line, so difficult to defend. Big bodies moving at speed. Wow, just getting ahead of himself, Will Kirk, a costly knock on.
They've started to pick up the pace, Gregory Terrace, and Kirk want to continue that. Just by putting this strong Churchy forward pack on their heels, they've been finding some space in around behind ruck, and then that's allowed them to build through the phases and suck Churchy defenders in, and then the space is outside. So Kirk was looking to continue that with his quick sniping runs and his quick short balls. But he just a little bit too quick himself that time, lost it at the base of the ruck.
How great to see, Rob. As the game goes on, the tempo is only increasing. It's getting faster, it's getting faster. This is not like schoolboy rugby of old. And these boys getting better as they go along. Jack finds Terrace. Opening space there. Mullen. Chips and chases. No way. Well, just by retreating.
Release.
Like knocked backwards by a retreating Terrace player. And so they escape, but G. Mullen. That's forward Stevens clears. The wind blowing his kick back in field. Stanghorn so fast. Taken well there, and Churchy now camped on the for the moment content. Kirk, Legrand kicking again. Trying to unlock that space down in the bottom right corner. Doesn't find touch, but it's not going to be a great angle for the kicker to kick from. Touched. And what we see there, Rob Matthews, that is the drawback of trying to go for charge downs. I know a lot of players now do not actually seek to charge down the ball, but rather pressure the kicker to force a poor kick, because what happens is you touch it, and then all of a sudden you've gifted the other team the possession back, meters down the field.
Still, Gregory Terrace is still doing it from a position of strong territorial dominance, though. They won't be thinking they've lost out too much there.
No, of course not. And so won smoothly by the Churchy force. And that is a great twisting carry. Number 17, we haven't got on, but gee, he's done well. Apparently a loose head prop. As Dre Brown fighting for extra meters.
Good turnover.
And Gregory Terrace snatch it back. Jacob Stocker. And now it's a real chance for Terrace to strike. Harry Wilson, can he create something here? Gee, just getting over the top of the tacklers. Made meters at the same time. Kirk and Roach cut down hard.
Good defense here.
Oh, and the turnover is good. Wow. How about that passenger play from Churchy?
Offside. Lazy. 4.
And offside very lucky because the Churchy player who was Falcon there will not be happy with that.
12 to go.
Looks like McPherson will clear for the line again. The lanky second rower, turn number 7. We speculate maybe an AFL background. And so finds touch, not about kick considering conditions. And so Churchy with a chance to work themselves back into position for maybe a penalty goal, maybe a way to snatch back the lead. Ball playing, oh, and that recovered. G from Ugly might come something beautiful. Drake down. He showed off that speed last week against Ipswich Grammar School with a long runaway try. We thought he had legs there again. And Tarabay, McPherson, offloading. Ogilvy finding Crothers to the 22. Gee, they've done well there, Churchy. Piggin driving, sings down again, back to their strengths. Working their way upfield, building pressure.
Trying to aim to those Gregory Terrace defenders in close to the ruck.
While Gregory Terrace fighting to get another turnover would be that it will if they can make it happen in the same position. Churchy continuing to drive. We haven't got a phase counter ready, but gee, they're well over half a dozen now. And what this does, it just saves the back's legs while tiring out the opposition forwards. Futrell driving through. Crothers to Charles. The big loose head came in for the injured Max Hemmings just this week.
Getting close now, 5 metres out.
Getting very close. They can smell the line, Churchy. And crowds loud, getting behind their teams. Well, if they score here, you have to say they've earned their try. They're working so hard, Churchy.
No hands though.
Getting very, very close.
Onside 2, off the ruck.
And just taking his time there, not going in the same tempo as everyone else, trying to catch Terrace offside. As Domenico plays the ball back. Tackle back, top of the breakdown. Just make nice scrappy. Not giving Churchy the easy ball.
Hands out.
We said before, scored so many of their points through this same pick and drive tactic. Great tackle by Jacob Stocker there, repelling the big JP Domenico. Queensland Schoolboys prop.
Play on, no effect.
And there we go, getting so close here.
Onside, hand onside. Up over the line.
Held up over the line, there we
Over the
go.
line.
Getting there,
Scrum.
but just not quite getting there. A contradiction in terms, but gee, it's been great watching this Churchy forward go to work, and even equally to see that repelled in a staunch defensive effort.
Absolutely, Will Kirk's happy. Gregory Terrace supporters in that corner, just off camera shot, they're happy as well. That was very, very well repelled by Gregory Terrace.
Are you okay?
But we'll get another Churchy will get another opportunity here.
Now, Rob, only 8 minutes to go. This is pressure time. They say rugby's a sports character. Well, gee, I can't think of a better moment than this to test the resolve of these young men on the field.
Crouch.
Resolve and this
Bind.
just got to resort to what they've been taught, take the emotion out of it.
A good scrum. Churchy able to use it. Hume, CRC Brown, inside for Stanghorn. Scored 1 try already today. Rumbling through. Met with Terrace.
Strong defence in midfield, really slowed this ball down.
And it serves the dual purpose, Rob. Just pick and driving constantly, just wears down the clock as well. And all of a sudden, when they do cross, and it might be here, Siasi Brown taken strongly by Ford Stevens and Medicel Suapaia. As a switch to what an angle. We see better get better access to GPS footy this year than right here, ladies and gentlemen. Churchy fighting close to that line. We can see the almost to the line, played back. To Minico. He's been busy in these pick and drive moments. He's built for it.
Behind rock, behind the rock.
Continuing to fight.
No, leave it.
That's a full-on penalty.
Play, play.
Taken quickly. Siasi Brown trying his luck. Oh, met by a swarm of Terrace defenders. Wow, they do not quit, these boys. Yeah, wow, what a decision with points on offer. Held up again. Brett Cronin had the best view in the house. Well, the great ball of Gregory Terrace holds true yet again.
Time's off.
I'm going to take time off quickly. I think Brett Cronin will have to issue a warning here.
While we've got time off, Nick, as well, just looking at those tackle figures, 86 to 51 now. Gregory Terrace, the possession territory figures are basically even, but just in those past few minutes, Gregory Terrace has really had to work hard in defence.
Yeah, boy, I believe it as well.
Cool. 5 to go. Time's up. Scrum blue.
And so just 5 minutes to play. And you have to think it will all boil down to this. Can Churchy come away with points? Can Terrace repel them?
Again.
Again. Is fourth time the charm? Same tunnel, have to call for a reset there. Nothing anyone can do about that. Of course, the stakes are so high for Gregory Terrace right now. One more loss and they are out of the running for the premiership.
Nice calm refereeing here from Brett Cronin. He's had to make a few big calls, a couple of held up, and of course the penalties as well, all on the line here. Staying calm, he's managing well, communicating with the players well.
I think sales of nail clippers may never recover, Rob, from either crowd.
Set.
Churchy boys on the far side are arm in arm.
Wait for it to steady. Okay, when you're ready.
As we go down for what feels like our 50th minute, locked in this red zone. Hume spills it. Under pressure, Matt LeGrand takes off. Does he have the speed? Can he find support? He's looking. And taken by Tristan Stanghorn on the halfway. Can Terrace find this moment to counterattack? Taken quickly. Gee, there's space out wide. You can see it. Terrace can see it. Harry Wilson taking it up, keeping the ball alive. I see Matt LeGrand organising his back to the left. Oh, and all for naught as another spilled ball. Well, gee, after 10 minutes of being camped inside the 22, one mistake and it's all undone, Rob Matthews.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. I mean, one or two mistakes or a few missed opportunities, you have to wonder if they're going to regret that choice not to have a go at the posts as well.
Ogilvy, Hume taken just on his side of the 40-metre line. Of the Churchy 40-metre line. So Churchy have a player going down for treatment. The players will play around him.
I think it's just
Siasi Brown. Oh, a big kick in field. Interesting decision straight to Byron Ralston. Former Queensland Sevens under-18s representative. And now Glenn Vehu. Glenn Vehu's got speed. Oh, the footwork as well. Ford Stevens slips out of one tackle. And keep fighting. Support arrives. And Terrace have got a long, long backline set up. Can they attack wide? Wilson playing direct. And Roach saving the day with the breakdown. Legrand straightening. Getting rid of one. They'd have to think a try here would seal the match. And then Mullen on Vehu. Oh, wow, and a turnover to boot. That's phenomenal. Which team can defend better, Rob? I can't pick.
They've certainly both had their moments, Nick. I mean, I don't think you and I have to sit here and pick when you're looking at a game with, you know, only under 30 points scored and 1 point margin.
Oh, they've taken a quick tap. Wow. What a decision that was.
Oh!
Oh, and obstruction to boot. Wow, they're not immune to playing risk football. They love to play risky football, don't they?
Position to catch the ball.
There you go. That's a penalty against Gregory Terrace.
Is referee Brett Cronin saying?
He's saying it was a knockdown. So referees are instructed to rule the knockdown, not what you might commonly know as the palm down, palm up rule. Referees are now, in their coaching and in their own training, they're instructed to also take into consideration whether the player had a legitimate opportunity, a legitimate chance to take the ball. So even if they do bobble it upwards with an open palm or with an upwards facing palm, if it wasn't a legitimate opportunity, a realistic opportunity, it's still a penalty.
Well, there you go, Rob Matthews, our man on the inside of the referees, with the referees. As Churchy have it, one more opportunity, you would say, with 45 seconds to play, to go length of field to score the 1 point. That would give them victory. And surely relegate Gregory Terrace to the ranks of the also ran. Oh, great carry there, just blocked order, number 17, take a bow. Oh, space down this left-hand wing. Cam Howard working so hard to force Churchy into touch. And he does.
Still time.
And still time. There will be one final roll of dice. If Terrace can win this line out, put it in touch, that will be the game, and that will be their season still alive for at least one more week.
And you can see there as well, just a beautiful shot of the Anglican Church Grammar School playing fields here, of course, attached to the main campus at East Brisbane. Very lucky to be able to play on grounds like these and broadcast from grounds like these in GPS rugby.
And such a beautiful pitch to play on that's seen so many classy players over the years hone their trade at Gregory Terrace. And so it's a solo win. Will Kirk puts the game into touch and puts the game to an end. Gregory Terrace victors 15-14 over Churchy. And it took every the game to sort out a winner, but we finally have got there, Rob Matthews.
Fantastic game of schoolboy rugby. Gregory Terrace, they were heartbroken 2 weeks ago with a tight result at the death, so they get some sort of recompense for that, I guess, this week, Nick. Absolutely fabulous game of schoolboy rugby.
And let's not lose sight of the fact, Rob, last year, Churchy came up with a 38-10 win Gregory Terrace came up with a 38-10 win over Churchy. Gosh, I have no idea where I am. I'm as exhausted as these guys are, I think. Let's move on. The tackles count stands at 86-58, and I think we can say with no debate, the defense of Gregory Terrace in those final dying minutes, camped in their own 22 or on their own try line, 15 minutes at a time. That was where the game was won.
Absolutely, Nick, I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, we spoke just before as well. You know, not a high-scoring match, so it's those few little crucial moments that'll win it for you. I think Churchy were held up over the line 3 times there in that sequence, and they also turned down a penalty shot at goal. So it was fabulous work by Gregory Terrace. And it wasn't for lack of good attack as well by Churchy. It was good, honest, hard rugby, but Terrace came away with outputs in the end. And
it's common criticism levelled at schoolboy rugby where I think can we listen to this war cry, Rob? Is that possible?
I think we can get us a war cry. Let's see what the audio guys can do.
Well, they would have had the war cry.
Yeah, they've run to their own supporters. There we go. We can hear it in the background there. So that's the Gregory Terrace boys. You can hear celebrating off the side of the screen with their home supporters in front of their position down in the corner there.
A huge, huge win in the context of the competition. Gregory Terrace live another week.
There you go. How good is that? Fantastic school spirit. That's one of the things about this GPS competition. Nick, we were speaking with referee Brett Cronin before the match, and he was telling us that, you know, for referees, some referees in this GPS schoolboy comp, you know, they referee internationals and Super Rugby as well. But yet the atmosphere and the passion that they get in schoolboy rugby is something very, very special. Yeah,
and having watched this game, Rob, I couldn't disagree with you even a little bit. Looking across this game, wow, I mean, a common criticism leveled at schoolboy rugby is that there's no defence. It's all high-octane scoring games. Like, this game tosses that script out and flips it on its head, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at those numbers across the board. There's not a huge amount of difference there. You know, the territory in possession went each way and went either way, but it was just the key moments in this match as well. Gregory Terrace had to do a lot of defensive work in that second half, and they were able to do that successfully and hold Churchy out, which of course ultimately won them the game. Handling errors split the difference. A few more missed tackles by Churchy, and that came through from the first half. But Terrace split the difference, and then the turnovers conceded, though, you know, undid the advantage in the missed tackle. So it was a very even game, and that's reflected on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think there were just not many opportunities to break free, as you allude to there, Rob. The 1-0 line break count. It really does. It says everything about this game, I think. So, Rob, I'm starting to hear some scores from around the grounds, if you're interested in hearing those.
Mate,
and we
absolutely.
have had one monster upset. Ipswich Grammar School 29 have defeated the Southport School 27.
They'll be licking their wounds down the M1 there at Southport. That'll be a very interesting one. That is, of course, our secondary stream as well today, so that's also available on doubletakelive.com/GPS Rugby if you're keen to have a watch of that game.
I certainly will be going back and watching that one. And as well, Nudgee College have defeated Toowoomba Grammar School 17-14. I believe that was a Ross Oval. So much closer than we might have envisioned for both those games.
Absolutely right. The competition is alive and well. And while we're speaking about going back and watching games, let's go back and have a look at some of the highlights from this match.
And here we go, the first try. Ethan Dobbins throws in the line-out and lashes onto the back of a very well-constructed line-out maul. And so just driving through, Churchy just couldn't hold it out, and eventually Dobbins goes in to score. Churchy's first try. They leave 5-0 at this point. And now we see here Tristan Stanghorn just streaming along the outside there. This is the try that equalised. A conversion from Tarabay would take Churchy into a slight 2-point. And so now we see the second try from Churchy. They move up into a 14-0 lead.
Mullen showed his pace here.
Jacob Mullen, unbelievable. I've got in my stats here that young Jacob Mullen, 70 centimetres, 74 kilograms. That's unbelievable. Count weighs a more than that right here. Oh no, so this is the no try to Tyrone Metasela Suapai. The wild Harry Wilson offload, flying into touch. This one here is the Cam Howard try.
Harry Wilson stood up and take notice, son.
Oh, that's how you finish. Wow. And this one here, this will be the Glenn Vehu streaming outside in similar fashion to the Jacob Mullen try before. I love this little interchange of play there, just from the tutors. And Ralston around the corner, pop, off he goes. Glenn Vehu, see you later. You're going in end zone.
Fantastic try scored in this match. And now we have the opportunity. We can have a look at round next weekend, Nick. What catches your eye and what takes you to see?
I think there's little doubt the game of the round next week is going to be BBC versus TSS. There might be an error on this here, Rob.
Oh no. Has the graphics man made an error? Southport are playing, so that'll be a challenge.
Yeah, no, I can't know how to back up for the second game. I think BBC versus TSS, if that is indeed the game, that'll be the game of the round. In fact, that might be an early premiership now that Southport has dropped out of that one loss. BBC currently undefeated, or as far as I understand, undefeated at this point. We're still waiting for results to come back in. And then IGS versus GT, a match between two schools where I figure they were about on par with each other. I think with the results, that sounds very much to be the case. All up, it's going to be an exciting week of GPS football next week, and I cannot wait for for any of these games, Double Take Live, of course, will be bringing you a selection of these live and exclusive Facebook and on Double Take. Well, Rob, you might need help.
DoubleTakeLive.com/GPS Rugby. We've got all the matches we brought, plus other bits and pieces, ladders, schedules, all that jazz. Speaking of schedules, I've just confirmed that it is Toowoomba Grammar School and Brisbane State High next week in that third fixture. So that is the amended table, amended just list. All others are correct. So it'll be some cracking rugby next weekend. Nick, thank you for joining me here today for a tight victory for Gregory Terrace over Churchie.
Yeah, classic schoolboy encounter, Rob. Thank you so much. And forward to the next round of GPS Rugby. Same time, same place next week.
Mate, it was my absolute pleasure. Thanks to all you tuning in. We'll be back with some more GPS Rugby action for you next week.